What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are here to do the 5 takeaways of the game we just watched between the Canadian men's national team and Costa Rica. This was the quarterfinal matchup. It was a big opportunity for Canada to show what this team can do in this tournament and go up against a real big hitter in the CONCACAF, and we did it. We won 2-0. We have a date with Mexico in the semifinals, and I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm not only proud as a Canadian, but I'm impressed with the performance that we just saw. So let's get through it. Takeaway number 1 is the fact that this was a professional performance. This was a performance that we got to take a look at this Canadian side from top to bottom and see what they can do in a knockout match against a consistent performer in the CONCACAF in Costa Rica, and I thought we flew with flying colors. This never really, to me, seemed like there was a threat that this game was going to go. We scored quickly. We pretty much controlled the play. We slowed the tempo down when we needed to. We ran the midfield, and we ended up coming out with that second goal that the chat decided that we needed, that we decided that we needed to really break this, calm the nerves down, and it happened. It was just an all-around professional performance. We look like the team that has been competing for Gold Cups and World Cup qualifying in the last 10 or so years compared to Costa Rica. They just look very disjointed. It was such an impressive performance all around, and there's really no other word besides professional what I could use for this performance, because it was a little surprising, especially after seeing how sloppy we were in the U.S. game, and then seeing just a totally different makeup for this kind of game. Tactics were spot on. Everyone had a unit that they had to do. The defensive display, even on players like Cavallini, was impressive, and I was absolutely thrilled with today's performance. As we move on to our second takeaway, which we are going to look at, and it's not a huge issue, but it's the fact that we took 2 yellows. So this tactical decision-making from Cavallini was annoying. We know that we basically just cannot even pick up a striker to save our lives right now because they're going down left, right, and center. And now Cavallini and Vittoria both took yellow cards. Not ideal. Our skipper, our leader, who's having a great tournament, Steven Vittoria, will be out. We do have Henry who can go in there, so we will probably play in a back 3 again going up against Mexico. It'll more than likely be Miller on the left, it'll be Alistair Johnson on the right, and then it'll be Henry coming in. So we have a direct replacement, but it is that leadership that we're going to be missing from Steven Vittoria. I mean, he's wearing the armband, and it sucks that way. But the biggest one up front is Cavallini. The fact that Larin is out, that Akinola is out, and now that Cavallini picked up that yellow. He didn't score in today's match, but like I said, he was involved in the play. He was coming back defensively. He just got carried away. Bit of a clumsy challenge, picked up that second yellow, and now we're down to our 4th striker of the tournament, and it's going to be a big test to see what we can do going forward without a striker that we probably would have thought would be going into a semifinal matchup with. But so those are only really 2 negative things I really took from this match as we go into our third takeaway. And our third takeaway is taking a look at Stephen Eustachio. Now, when I talked about the U.S. team and how I thought the midfield looked very disjointed, especially with the performances of Kay and Osorio, they were all over the place. They had 2 very poor games in that U.S. game. Both became better today because of the injection of Stephen Eustachio. He had an incredible game from top to bottom. He brought that common presence, that real leadership you need in the midfield, and he is the type of player that makes players around you better. Jonathan Osorio and Marc-Anthony Kaye today, I thought, had great games. Both were very good on the ball. Both barely lost it when they needed to. When they needed to get the play going in transition, they were very good at doing that as well. I thought that 3-man midfield looked sensational today. I was very, very satisfied with it, and it just came all around with a good performance in the midfield, which then goes to my 4th takeaway, and we got to talk about our boy, Buchanan. Buchanan has been a revelation since coming into this team. He played on the right wing back spot in today's match, and he took it to the defense every single time he got on the ball. The creativity, the little cutbacks, the cheekiness of this player is incredible. He made it so hard. In the first 2 games against Martinique and Haiti, he was doing this. He was going by players 1v1 with ease, and he recreated that again against a bigger team, against a Costa Rican team. He struggled a little bit with the U.S., but he completely made up for it in today, and I thought he had an excellent performance. Him and Stephen Eustachio were my 2 standout players, as they should be. This was Buchanan's tournament to pick up the pieces from Davies not being able to do it, and he did it to complete succession. Great performance from him. And then Stephen Eustachio again through the middle. I can't get enough of him. And Tajon Buchanan has teams and everyone looking at him right now, and it's for a reason. It's because he's doing something special on the pitch right now, and it's a drastically important person for the success of this team going forward. And also a big little shout out to Junior Hoylett, who I thought had a great game as well. We needed to find someone to score the goals. He's playing as that dual striker with Cavallini, playing just a little under him, and I thought he was very good on the ball today. A lot of creative runs, and him and Buchanan linked up very well. And then we're going to go into the final takeaway today, which is an interesting one, but it's something that I noticed and talked about through the entire stream, and it was taking the tactical decisions to make challenges and win challenges. And we drew a lot of fouls today, all over the pitch. And when I was talking about Costa Rica, who actually had a little bit more possession than we did in the match, even though when you watched it, it didn't seem like they really did. They were never able to really get something going forward where we were. In transition, we were exceptional. When they went in transition and came a couple times off of corners or set pieces, it just was really a run at our defense and then lose the ball. But when they did have opportunities going forward, we cut them back because we were able to win the ball back more times than not. And when we did and we were in an uncomfortable position, we drew a foul. We did it all over the park. Didn't matter where the ball was, especially it's more valuable to us in the defensive end because we could put ourselves in a couple situations where we needed to get out of it. And every single player, I saw Cavallini do it, Buchanan did it a bunch, Osorio did it, Hoylett did it. These players were able to get their bodies positioned properly. So when a Costa Rica player came in, took out the challenge, play was dead, reset, and let Canada start back up. And it was exceptional the way that we did it. A couple people in the chat said it can be a little dangerous playing that game, especially a couple calls I thought didn't know if they were going to get called. But more times than not in today's match, every single time we got put in a dangerous position in our end, we drew a foul. And that's something that it just shows the footballing IQ of our Canadian players. And it was exceptional. And those are the 5 takeaways. But I have one final comment to make to us Canadian fans out there. And it's the fact that this team is deep. And you can see it. This team, we're missing a lot of our players. I mean, our field, Hutch aren't here. We know that Scott Kennedy wasn't able to be here. The big guns in David Davies. Laren's now out of the tournament. Akinola's now out of the tournament. A lot of the big hitters on this Canadian national team were not able to come to the Gold Cup. And we're still competing. We're in a semifinal against Mexico with a team that probably looked a lot differently than a team we assumed would be there. And it just shows that this team is growing. This team is getting better. And players like Buchanan stepping up. Players like Eustachio having fun. The players like Kamal Miller, who I thought has had a very good tournament. It's incredible to see the depth on this team. And they had a deserving spot in the semifinals. We have a date with Mexico. We are missing 2 of our better players, especially not having Cavallini up front. Not going to be easy, but it's job done against Costa Rica. We show that without Davies, without David, without Laren, there's still more to the Canadian side, and I'm very proud as a Canadian. It was a lot of fun. We appreciate all the support you guys have showed on the channel so far. We're getting very close to 5,000 subscribers, so if you guys want to drop a like and subscribe, it's always appreciated. And let me know in the comments what your takeaway was for this match, because for me, the key word, like I said, is just professional. It's a professional performance. We move on to the semifinals. We have a date with Canada. Hopefully see you guys all there. Take care, and we'll talk to you guys soon.